Hello everybody, I am Ace Creeper and today I'm back with a brand new video. Today we are talking about more Doctor Who Series 12 news, mostly rumours. I'll be honest with you, this isn't exact news because this isn't confirmed, this isn't filming reports, this is rumour. And we've talked about this last time. The Mirror are back at it again with another Doctor Who Series 12 article. Last time they talked about the environment and I made a video about that. And I thought this was quite explanatory, but people couldn't really get the grip of that. And I think there was a few commenters who were really confused, going, oh well, this is pointless, why are you making a video on something that isn't confirmed? Because this is a channel, it's a Doctor Who channel, it's my channel, I can do whatever I want with it, and if I feel there's a topic that I quite fancy discussing, then I'm going to go for it. It might not be news, it might just be rumour and it might be totally pointless, but when these Mirror articles hit, loads of people on Twitter, loads of people in the Doctor Who community actually talk about it and discuss the possibilities of that. So I like to bring that onto a video. I like to talk about that on a video because it gives me content to make and it gives, you know, it spreads the message about this article for people who maybe aren't on Twitter or aren't in certain elements of the Doctor Who community like Discord or Gallifrey base or something like that. It's a platform for me to do videos about these sort of news, rumour, all that sort of thing. I did get a bit carried away last year, totally know that, because there was like anonymous sources and stuff like that and all that rubbish. But this is coming from the Mirror, and the Mirror have a genuinely good track record with Doctor Who. That is why I'm talking about it, because it actually is a possibility that these stories could come true for Series 12. Anyway, that's what we're talking about today. It's not just about the environment though this time, they're talking about the Cybermen, so we'll talk about that. There's a few things we want to go through as well, which I'll have to put another disclaimer in there somewhere, but we'll do that right now. We'll talk about what the Mirror have actually posted on their website as an article, claiming that Jodie Whittaker's second series of Doctor Who is about to get a whole lot darker. Let's read exactly, word for word, what they've said. Doctor Who will battle old villains the Cybermen in a plot that is the stuff of classic horror. Jodie Whittaker's Time Lord clashes with them in the 19th century in a darker new series out next year. The plot involves a part human, part machine monsters, inspiring author Mary Shelley to write iconic horror novel Frankenstein. A source said, this new run is much scarier than Jodie's first year and will definitely put the frighteners on fans. Things are about to get a whole lot darker for the Doctor. The Cybermen have not been seen since they shocked Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor in 2017, causing him to regenerate as Whittaker, or into Whittaker, I think I should say, I don't know, I might be wrong. They first appeared alongside original Time Lord William Hartnell in 1966. Yeah, so that's what they've written. A few little interesting things that I'm going to pull out straight away. The first thing, before we get into the big Cybermen stuff, much scarier than Jodie's first year, you know, much more darker. Always happens every single year for Doctor Who. It seems like they talk about the show getting bolder and bigger and darker and scarier because they kind of have to up the scale, and that's how TV shows kind of work in terms of advertising, is that if you enjoyed the first series, woohoo, but you don't want to see exactly the same thing for the second series. You want to see similar elements but elevated to make them even more impactful and bigger and exciting. That's why like the third series for like the new Who Doctors are just like are really like up in scale in size, you know, like David Tennant, for example, like his first series, yeah, it was kind of a Earth invasion, but it was more of a battle and obviously losing Rose. Series 3, yes, big Earth invasion, whatever. But like the Daleks, at the end of Series 4, all the companions coming back, you know, Davros and all the planets disappearing and the parallel universes, all that sort of thing. It was massive. You know, Matt Smith, you know, starting off with a Big Bang and, you know, stuff with the River Song storyline. And then eventually by the end of his third series, he was on Trenzalore fighting for his life and defending against what could end up being the second Time War, and obviously Capaldi's elevated from a basic sort of story about him and Clara and Missy and all that sort of thing, and Gallifrey and the Hybrid, don't even get me started on the Hybrid, and then eventually by Series 3 for him it was dark, you know, his companion got turned into a Cyberman, he was stuck on a ship, it was big in scale, the Cybermen, you know, all that sort of thing. The scale always gets upped, and that's just in the way of TV to elevate audiences and get them excited. And usually the second series is always darker and edgier. They always do it. They did it with Series 6 as well, and it wasn't really dark and edgy. So they could just be saying that, but hopefully they actually do go a bit darker and scarier this time, because I would actually like to see that, especially in regards to the Cybermen, who do have some very horrifying elements to them in regards to body horror, depending on which version of the Cybermen you use. But yes, a lot of fans did see this Mirror article, and instantly, there was a few of them, myself included, I pointed this out as well. I know a lot of people pointed out. It was very, very similar to that of a Big Finish audio story. Now, there's Doctor Who canon's very weird, and we'll talk about that in just a moment, but the Silver Turk is a Big Finish story with the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann. It's the Cybermen, Mary Shelley, 19th century. It follows very similar threads to what the Mirror are describing in this. Now, instantly people went, well, it's going to contradict the Big Finish, and it can't do that because Big Finish is all that sort of thing. Big Finish has already established that the 8th Doctor was there and had a companion who was Mary Shelley and the Cybermen in 19th century London and all that sort of stuff. Doctor Who canon's very, very strange. But here's how I see it. Now, you might want to disagree with me on this one, it's perfectly fine, but here's the way I kind of stand on it, just to get this Big Finish stuff out of the way, so we can talk about what the actual things in this episode could be, what it could mean. For me, Doctor Who canon, the only official locked-in Doctor Who canon is the first thing to come out of Doctor Who, the TV show. The TV show is all canon. And anything beyond that, books, comics, Big Finish, games, etc., are extended material. Now, after that, because there's so much Doctor Who material, that if all of it was canon, there would be so many different contradictions and it would just be horrible and wouldn't work. Some people, which is perfectly fine, accept Big Finish as canon. I personally do, because the Big Finish stories that I've listened to do not contradict what I've seen in the TV show so far, so I count them as canon, the War Master being a prime example of how something can fit really well into the TV show's canon and not contradict anything. Unfortunately, when it's the other way around, the TV show might take inspiration from certain elements of Big Finish. You cannot expect every writer that comes on a TV show to know everything about every Big Finish story and, it's a list of rules of how to not contradict it. It's very clear that this idea for a Series 12 story with the Cybermen and Mary Shelley and 19th century is direct influence from this, because there's no way that's coincidence. But I've got nothing wrong with that. The Series 2 Cyberman stories took heavy inspiration from spare parts. There was a bit of panic in Series 10 before the Doctor Falls came out that World Enough Time actually contradicted the events of spare parts, and that may or may not have made spare parts canon or not. There's always these things, but the way you just have to look past it, and the way I look at it anyway, is that Doctor Who is just a great TV show. It's got some great extended material that is very, very passionate and put together by very, very passionate and brilliant fans who are writing, who are voice acting, etc. And they're brilliant. If a Series 12 episode directly contradicts the Silver Turk, I don't mind personally. Because, to me, they're two separate entities. I can enjoy the Silver Turk, and I can also enjoy the TV show version of that. I honestly don't mind the contradiction, personally, because it doesn't really matter as long as the story's entertaining and good and really emphasises on that. 19th century Cybermen, Mary Shelley, that is a fantastic concept and idea. The only thing I'd hope is that in the credits they give a bit of a credit to Mark Platt, who actually wrote the Silver Turk. That would be quite nice, but I don't expect them to do that. Anyway, moving on from the Big Finish stuff, that's where I stand on it. So assuming this is an actual real episode in Doctor Who Series 12, let's talk about it. The Cybermen are coming back. Well, that's expected and very exciting, because obviously we had the Dalek last series, we've not had anything else. We've got the Jadoon coming back. It was very expected that we were going to have more classic returning monsters, and the Cybermen was quite heavily predicted and guessed. I'm not 100% sure what they're going to do with this, though. I do like the idea of it being in 19th century. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the Cybermen design. I've been very open and clear that I really do not like the 2013 design of the Cybermen, the Iron Man look, because it does look too much like Iron Man. It makes them more robots opposed to the whole body horror thing. My favourite design is the Mondasian Cybermen, the ones that look like they've got bags over their heads, because it is body horror. It's people being ripped apart and put together again to make them survive longer or something like that, and I really love the horror and darkness of that concept, and that's why I love them the most. So this story, being in the 19th century, unlikely, I'd say, to have the 2013 design, because it looks too modern, it looks too polished, it looks too great. I mean, it would make sense aesthetically, maybe not story-wise. You could always have the 2013 Cybermen rock up, why not? They're always going to do it, because they're the ones they've got in, deep storage down in Rothlock Bay. They've got those costumes ready to go. But the way I look at it is that in 19th century London, for example, it would be aesthetically beautiful to have either a new design, which took it back to basics a little bit, or the Mondasian Cybermen, the ones with the bags over their heads, the ones from World Enough Time that proved to be incredibly popular with fans. They were creepy. And they could work really well in 19th century as a Cyberman story, as a primitive Cyberman story. As could a new design. I've got the artwork on screen that I did a few days ago. That artwork there shows a design that I personally picked out in my Should the Cybermen Be Redesigned video. And it's a fantastic bit of artwork. I can't remember the guy who made it. I'm really, really sorry, but I'll link it in the description if you want to check out like the original bit of art, because he's done loads of different things, and it's a proper good Cyberman concept, and it really, really should be brought to light because it looks gorgeous. It brings in Mondasian, but it also breathes a little bit of 2006 Cyberman, and I really love that. But yeah, Mary Shelley being inspired to do Frankenstein by the Cybermen is a fantastic idea, and I'm surprised no one thought of it before the Big Finish story. It's a fantastic idea. I love the idea of including historical figures. I love the idea of including the Cybermen. I love that. And I think this could really, really work. The Cybermen are really interesting though, because you need to make it dark. You need to really capitalise off that. I don't know how I feel about it. I actually really like it, and I really genuinely hope this is a real thing. This is going to be part of the story. This is actually going to be a real episode that we get to see on screen in Series 12, because I think this could really, really work if the writing's done well. And I'm crossing my fingers it will be, because returning monsters is always good. I love it. So I would really like to see the Cybermen, especially in this context, because the whole futuristic like Nightmare in Silver, type thing, or modern day Cyberman attacks is just boring now. I love the idea of it being in the past, or in like a spaceship or something. I just love it. I love this. So yes, 19th century London Cybermen, great idea in my opinion. And recently as well, I put this news on my Patreon page because it wasn't like massive news, and also it pretty much wasn't really confirmed either, but like I wanted to kind of get it out there, but I wasn't really sure where to put it. I didn't want to make a video entirely about this, but Maxim Baldry, who obviously appeared in Years and Years recently as well, put an image on his Instagram story of him and a couple of other actors in period piece clothing, directly tying with the episode that was filming at the time for Doctor Who, of that era. So it's very, very likely that if they are doing the Cybermen in 19th century London, or maybe 19th century Paris, or somewhere different, who knows, really. But there we go, Maxim Baldry could be in this episode. That could be the same episode, it could be those characters, it could have that sort of era feel to it. This is definitely a historical, if this is Doctor Who. So yeah, who knows, we could have a Cyberman episode in 19th century with Mary Shelley and a wonderful Maxim Baldry as well. But yeah, I mean, that's just kind of what I think about it. I don't really care about the Big Finish contradictions. I've kind of explained that, I hope, relatively well. It's a difficult subject to cover because it's really difficult with Doctor Who canon. I haven't seen anywhere near a majority of it, and I've been watching the show since I was 5. But yeah, no, I really, really love this idea. I really, really hope they go with it, and I really, really hope it is not a load of rubbish. But I would love to know what you think. So tell me in the comments below, because I'd really actually like to hear your opinions on this. What you think about it. Do you think contradiction's all right? Do you think it'll play into the Silver Turk, or do you think it's better off if they just leave it, or ignore the idea, or come up with something new? Yeah, tell me in the comments. I'd love to know. Anyway, that's pretty much it here. We have talked about Big Finish a little bit. There's a Big Finish live stream this weekend to celebrate its 20th anniversary. I thought I'd drop that in there. I'm not being asked to do this or anything, but I thought, hey, I'm talking about Big Finish this episode, I could probably reference that. Yeah, there is a live stream this Saturday night, Sunday, 20-hour live stream on the official Doctor Who YouTube channel, where Big Finish will be streaming some exclusive and some old Big Finish stories from Doctor Who, which will be great. It'll be exciting. So you can get a grip for it. You might, if you've never listened to Big Finish before, you're missing out. But you can have a listen on the live stream for free, and then maybe decide where from there you want to go. Maybe you want to get a box set or something like that. But yeah, quite exciting stuff. But yeah, I'll be sitting in the live stream chat hopefully on the Saturday or the Sunday, so that should be quite fun. Anyway, yes, I'm going to stop rambling on. Please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Comment below Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, comment below for any more suggestions in the future, subscribe to the channel with notifications on if you haven't already. We've got a Patreon page, which I've already talked about, link in the description. We've also got a Discord server, which is also linked in the description, and you can join and just join the discussion about Doctor Who Series 12 and Big Finish and whatever you want. Anyway, that's pretty much it from me. I'm going to stop rambling. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.